From BBC Learning English, this is Learning English from the News, our podcast about the news headlines.
In this programme, deadly heatwave hits Europe.
Hello, I'm Beth.
And I'm Phil.
In this programme, we look at one big news story and the vocabulary in the headlines that will help you understand it.
You can find all the vocabulary and headlines from this episode, as well as a worksheet on our website, bbclearningenglish.com.
So let's hear more about this story.
Many countries in Europe are experiencing an extreme heatwave.
Parts of Spain and Portugal recorded temperatures of 46 degrees in June, their highest ever temperature for that month.
Many countries, including France, Italy and the UK, have been on a red heat alert. This means there is a major risk to life and infrastructure.
2 people in Italy have died because of the heat, while in Turkey, over 50,000 people have been evacuated because of wildfires.
Let's have our first headline.
This is from Sky News. European heatwave leaves Spain, Portugal, Italy and Greece in sweltering 40-degree heat.
That headline again, European heatwave leaves Spain, Portugal, Italy and Greece in sweltering 40-degree heat. And that's from Sky News.
So this headline says the heatwave is leaving countries in sweltering heat. We're interested in the word sweltering. Phil, what can you tell us?
Well, sweltering is an adjective. And if it's sweltering, it's very, very hot. So if you're feeling hot, you can say, I'm sweltering, or you can use it to talk about the weather. It's sweltering outside today.
But it's more than just very hot. It's a negative heat, isn't it?
It is. It's uncomfortably hot. Too hot. You don't want it to be sweltering.
And there are similar words to sweltering that can have this negative meaning too. You could say the heat is boiling, suffocating, or stifling. For example, this heat is suffocating. We'll have to stay in the air conditioning all day.
But some words, like scorching, can be used in a positive or a negative way, depending on how much you like the heat.
Yes, so you could say, it's scorching, but I love this kind of hot weather.
We had sweltering. That's uncomfortably hot.
For example, it's sweltering out here. I need a cold drink and a fan. This is Learning English from the News, our podcast about the news headlines. Today, we're talking about the heatwave in Europe.
France is being particularly affected by the heatwave. There have been predictions of temperatures reaching over 40 degrees.
On Tuesday, 16 areas of France, including Paris, were on a red alert, the highest extreme heat warning. Some of these have been extended into Wednesday.
Many schools, roads, and the top of the Eiffel Tower are closed because of high temperatures.
The French authorities have said everyone is in danger, including people who are in good health.
Let's have our next headline.
Schools closed and Paris at standstill as France takes brunt of Europe's heatwave, and that's from MSN.
That headline again, schools closed and Paris at standstill as France takes brunt of Europe's heatwave, and that's from MSN. This headline is talking about the heatwave specifically in France. It says Paris is at a standstill. That means lots of places are closed and people are staying inside because of the heat.
But we're interested in another phrase. The headline says France takes the brunt of Europe's heatwave. What does take the brunt of something mean?
Well, the word brunt means the worst part or main force of something negative. But we almost always use it in this phrase. So, France takes the brunt of the heatwave means France is most affected by the heatwave. It's worse in France than in any other European country.
And we can also say suffer or bear the brunt of. So France is suffering or bearing the brunt of the heat. How else can we use take the brunt of?
Well, we can use it with attacks. For example, if there's a war, and one city is attacked more than anywhere else, you could say that city is taking the brunt of the war.
And we can also use brunt of with people. If I'm angry today and I shout at you, Phil, you will take the brunt of my anger.
That's right. But please don't shout at me.
We've had take the brunt of. Experience the worst part of something negative.
For example, the boss took the brunt of the blame when most of the staff left the company. This is Learning English from the News, our podcast about the news headlines. Today, we're talking about the heatwave in Europe.
Experts say these heatwaves are happening because of human-caused climate change.
Extreme hot weather, like heat waves, will happen more often, last for longer, and become even more intense as the planet continues to warm, say the UN's Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change.
And that's what our next headline is about.
Lethal heat is Europe's new climate reality, and that's from Politico.
That headline again, lethal heat is Europe's new climate reality, and that's from Politico.
So, this headline says the lethal heat, lethal means it can kill you, is Europe's new climate reality. Now, we know new and we know reality, but what do they mean together?
Well, a new reality means a situation that has been changed from how it was. It's now a different and new situation compared to the past.
So, deadly heat is the new climate reality in Europe. It means it wasn't the situation in the past, it wasn't as hot, but now it's normal for Europe to experience this because of climate change.
Many countries in Europe have always had hot weather, but the levels of extreme heat have become more normal over recent years. This new heat is the new reality.
We have a similar expression which means the same, the new normal. So we could also say lethal heat is the new normal for Europe.
And can you give us another example, Phil?
Well, my sister has just had a baby. She said she's not getting any sleep at all, but that's her new reality.
Ah, yes, it's her new normal.
We've had new reality, a new and different situation to the past.
For example, I just moved from the city to the countryside, and it's so quiet here. Peace and quiet is my new reality.
That's it for this episode of Learning English from the News. We'll be back next week with another news story.
If you've enjoyed this programme, try our series all about English for work. Search Learning English for Work in your podcast app or visit our website, bbclearningenglish.com.
And don't forget to follow us on social media. You can find us at BBC Learning English.
Goodbye for now.
Bye.